Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire in a very, very windy Scotland. In the distance you can just see the feet of Martyn. Martyn is on the Goldmax Power V4 and I am on the XPDeusII, which I've got to say, so far I'm doing very, very well with it. I got my first hammered coin, my first hammered silver coin with it just last week, which was a Charles I 40 pence. The XL in Roman numeral stands for 40, a 40 pence. And it dates to the reign of Charles I, 1625 to 1649. The first time I've ever had one of those coins, so over the moon with it. This field also produced Martyn a Charles I shilling, which is a 12 pence from the same era. So fingers crossed there is more to be had. I went out detecting 4 days ago on a different field closer to home and I found absolutely nothing. But today is a lot windier and we've come back to this field that produced that hammered silver coin. So fingers crossed that there is more to come. I really hope the microphone isn't too bad because the wind is, as I mentioned before, pretty terrible. Probably going to be like 30-40 miles an hour gusts. So I'm doing my best and we have got our first digger. For me, just 5 minutes in. Pretty solid 83, 84. Maybe a wee silver coin to get started, that would be nice. Let's see. First hole, first signal, and I'm doing a lot better than I did the other day. I think we've got a coin straight away. Fell out the side of this hole as I turned the clod over, and it looks like we've got a penny. It looks pretty toasted, pretty well worn, but maybe we can get a little bit of detail off that. Probably going to be Queen Victoria, I think, but her coins tend to always be quite smooth. So let's see if we can get any detail. But a great start. It's very smooth and it's a little bit toasty, but you can just make out a head looking to the left, and it's an early Queen Victoria penny, called a bun head because it's got her young head with her hair in a bun. And on this side you can just make out Britannia, and I can just see the date 1862, 1862. So Queen Victoria reigned from I think 1837 till 1901. She oversaw the huge British Empire. She became queen at only 18, and her first name was not even Victoria. Victoria was her middle name. Alexandrina was her first name, named after her godfather, who was Tsar Alexander of Russia. And she survived many, many assassination attempts, including 8 by one Scotsman called Roderick McCrae. Tried to kill her 8 times. On the final attempt he fired a gunshot, or he fired a pistol, at her carriage. He was arrested and sentenced in a mental asylum where he lived for the rest of his life. I think the final attempted assassination was in the 1880s and he lived out in an asylum to the 1920s when he died. But first hole, and it's a coin. Great start. Despite this field having been done to death by all of us over the past 12 months, and it's never been ploughed again since we metal detected it, or started metal detecting it a year ago. 10 minutes in, one coin so far, and now got another diggable signal. And again, 81, 82, 80, 83. Could we have another coin? Could be. Let's see. Okay, apologies again for the muffled sort of microphone, but got to do my best to keep the wind noise out. But wasn't in the first clod. Couple of spadefuls down, and it's out. Might actually be a bit of lead. I think it is. Change hands, and it is. It is a little fragment of melted lead. Can't see any sort of decoration on it, it's just a random little piece. In fact, I don't think it's lead. It's not lead, it's actually bronze. It's a piece of bronze. Maybe a bit of leftover from casting metal. Very heavy, which is why I thought it was lead, but if that was lead it would be more of a white colour and it would be able to be bent, and that is definitely not bendable. Even the bendy thumb can't bend that. So, who knows, could be thousands of years old, could be from the Bronze Age, but we'll never know. I'm really surprised how many signals are coming through. 10, 12 minutes going, we've got a third digger. Pretty consistent, 64, 65, and let's put the pinpointer on. Right there. Again, didn't come out in the plug, came out in the spadeful below. I'm thinking maybe a button or something like that, but it's not. I've been gazumped by a big piece of iron. I'm surprised at that. Didn't sound very irony. Well, maybe it's some sort of something, maybe not solid iron, but it's some sort of metal clip for maybe a pipe fitting or a pole. But either way, it's junk. So we've got two signals side by side. 55, 56, 57, 58. So might be more of those little clips. I'm only a few feet away from where I got the other one, so let's see. What I thought was two signals was actually only one. It's a piece of lead. Maybe the detector was sort of picking up each extreme, but initially I thought, oh, might be something good, but it's just a strip of lead. I don't know, maybe part of a lead spoon handle, or maybe a little decorative something or other, but either way, it's been in the ground for a while, but nothing particularly interesting, it would seem. Martyn's over though, let's see what he's got so far. Oh, that is a fantastic collection of stuff. I've seen one of these before, I can't remember what it is, but it's a thing. Then he's got another thing, bullety maybe, I don't know, doesn't feel heavy enough. And then he's got another thing, and another thing, and then lastly a thing, but it's shiny on one side. Wonder what that's been at some point. But it's a thing. So, lots of things for Marty. And he's also just discovered a lead seal that he's put through the wash. He's left it in his trousers, and look how it's come out. Shows you how these probably would have looked when they were first made. 1879, so one of these Russian lead seals. So I wouldn't recommend putting them through your washing machine, but our wives are all cracking up because we keep forgetting to empty our pockets, and then trousers go in the machine full of coins, and this is how lead seals come out after a 40-degree non-colour fast cotton wash. So there you go. Don't try this at home. This one was about 6 inches down, pretty weak. It was in the 40s, low 40s, and I think that is a compacted bullet. You can see a couple of ridges there and a sort of semicircle, and I think that's a small caliber bullet that has impacted on something. We are on an old shooting range, so bullets are to be expected. This one's probably from the First or Second World War sort of era. probably from the early 1900s through to the 1950s. But one thing that's consistent is the wind is getting worse, but we've got another digger here somewhere. Pretty solid 82. Coin-like, but not so consistent that way. I don't think it's a coin, but you don't know unless you try. Okay, we're out the hole, and just to my right, well, not just to my right, probably 100 odd metres away to my right, Marty has just shouted. I couldn't hear him because of the wind, and he's just shouted again, silver. So Martyn is on the silver. Before we go and see what he's got, I have got something in here. Question is, what is it? Oh, I think we've got a coin as well. That looks like a coin. It is. Coin number 2. We have got Britannia 1920. It's gorgeous George. Has to be George V. It is George V. So, 2 coins, one for each of us. Marty has pulled a cracker out the bag. Had me kind of confused for a wee bit. He's got a 1 shilling silver, and the date is what threw me, 1834. So I thought it was going to be George IV, because I thought that was Gavilimus. It is Gavilimus, it's William IV. William IV, by the grace of God, Britanniarum Rex FD, King of the Britons, Defender of the Faith. And you can see his big potato head looking to the right hand side. So William IV ruled from 1830 to 1837, and he was, before him was George IV, and after him was Queen Victoria. So this is, as far as I'm aware, a pretty rare emperor, pretty rare king. If he only ruled for 7 years for a start. I can't remember. I think I had 1 silver coin of him last year, possibly even in this field. But he is, I think, quite rare. So not only is it a nice milled silver coin, but I think it's a rarer milled silver coin. So what's a shilling? 12 pence? 12 pence piece back in the old days before decimalisation. Beautiful coin. Well done to Martyn for finding that cracker. This one was actually just sticking out of the ground. Didn't need to dig for it. We've got another piece of bronze. Came through as a low 80s, 82, 83, 84. Very strong signal, especially as it was lying on the surface. And it is another sort of waste piece, maybe from metalworking. Again, could be ancient, could be thousands of years old. We will never know. But very, very heavy. Very smooth on one side, a bit rough on the other, and that seems to be when it kind of lies on maybe a bed of sand or something, or even just the soil when it's warm. And it always gives it one smooth side and one rougher side. But it's a good sign, and it's another thing that's been missed, so clearly there is a lot more to be had from this field. Fingers crossed. This one is ear blowing. $89.90, and I'm thinking it's maybe going to be tin can, but hey, might be a massive silver ingot. So let's see what we get. Not particularly deep. So far so good, because it seemed to be a fairly big signal, and if it was a big tin can I would have thought I would have seen it by now. Famous last words. Whatever it is, it doesn't seem to have been very deep. I don't seem to know where it is now. Probably all shouting at the screen because you can probably see it, but I can't. Where's it gone? Oh, it's over here. There it is. It is, well, I was not far wrong. I think it's a piece of aluminium or aluminum. Looks kind of a bit deformed, like it's maybe even been burned or something like that, but who knows what it is. Junk. Okay, that was the last hole right there, and got another thing right here. Same as before, 88, 89, and it's an ear blower. I think we're going to have another bit of aluminum or aluminium, but you gotta try. Okay, moment of truth, not particularly deep, it's definitely in this clod. Somewhere, if I can get this out. It's actually not been, oh! I think we've got a bloody silver coin. I think we have got a silver coin. Oh, it's a silver coin, but it's been battered by something. It's a shilling. It's the same as Martyn. It is a shilling. 18 something. It is a shilling, but it's been in the war. Literally been in the war. Is it going to be another William IV? That is the question. Marty's going to have to head off, but he got himself a musket ball, lead musket ball, so probably dates to sometime 16th, 17th into the 18th century. And you can see the sort of nipple on top where it's been moulded. First firearms came to Scotland in about 1385, and by the middle of the 1400s we had gone firearm crazy. And there's another look at Martyn's star find, because he is just about to head home. He's been working hard all day, if his wife asks. He's definitely not been metal detecting, so don't anyone grass him in. But beautiful coin for him. And what are the chances that we both get a shilling? It's just a shame that Martyn's one is wrecked and that I'm getting to keep the William IV. But 2 silver shillings, probably not more than 20 or 30 metres away from one another. But Martyn's in excellent condition from 1834, and mine is from 1883, so it's Queen Victoria. Give you a better look at that in a minute. And that's Martyn heading off. That's Martyn away home from work, way back to see his better half. And just typical that he pulls the pristine silver shilling out, and I end up with this one that's wrecked. It is 1880. Initially I thought 1883, but that might be 1888 or 1889. Not sure how good my eyesight is. I'm going to go with 1888. Yeah, I think it might be. It's another silver shilling, but it's in a terrible state. It looks like it's literally been set on fire. You can just make out De Gratia Britanniarum. So it would have been Queen Victoria, by the grace of God, Queen of the Britons, Defender of the Faith. But it's in a terrible state. I mean, it really does look like it's been on fire. But it is a silver coin, and it's one each. Martyn's heading home, so hopefully I Can maybe go 2-1 ahead if I can pluck another bit of silver out of this field that's produced more silver coins than any other field I've ever been on. Victoria was the niece of William IV. William IV was in his mid-60s, if I remember rightly, when he took the throne from George IV in 1830, and by 1837 he was dead with no heir, and Victoria, his niece, took over. But it's a silver coin, and I am very happy with that. We have got another good one right down here. I'm up at the top end of the field now, where I got the silver Charles I 40 pence last week. We've got a pretty solid 86 in both directions, and I'm going to call a coin. 86 seems to be penny sort of territory, and I'm going to say George V, but let's see what we get. Okay, we're out the hole. It's in this big plug somewhere. Oh, we might have a wee clod shot. No, we don't have a clod shot. What's fallen out the clod? Oh, it's under my finger. We've got a coin. We've got another chewed up coin. It's got a great big chunk out it. That is a head looking to the left. I think that's George II. I think that is George II. Dropped it. Shock horror. It's been a while. Yep. I think that might be George II. Let's give it a rub up and see. And that was not me who did that to the coin. It's pretty smooth and worn, but you can just make out Britannia seated on the back, and the line with what would have been a date underneath it would have been somewhere between 1727 and 1760, because on this side it would have said Georgius 11 REX, George II King, and you can see his head looking to the left hand side. So George II was the last British monarch to fight in a battle. He fought at the Battle of Dettingen in the 1740s during the War of the Austrian Succession. And he later sent his son, the Duke of Cumberland, who is known as the Butcher Cumberland, north into Scotland to deal with Bonnie Prince Charlie and the Jacobites. And the British government army of around 9,500 defeated the 6,000 strong Jacobite army at the Battle of Culloden in April 1746. And that was the end of the Jacobite cause, because the Butcher then set about destroying, dismantling and murdering the clan system to break up support for the Jacobites. Basically what they would now call genocide. And so this coin is from quite a volatile period in Scottish and British history. Shame it's damaged, but at least we can identify it. This is probably going to be my last signal. It's been quite quiet up at this end of the field where I got the hammered silver coin last week. I'm sure there's more to be had, but not today at the moment. This one coming in 69 to 73. Doesn't sound like a particularly sweet signal. I hope it's not another one of these brackets. I've had 2 or 3 of them now. Seems a little bit high for that. Maybe a button or something. Let's see what we get. Well, what did I say? I said I was worried maybe it was going to be one of these brackets. And what's that? It is another one of these brackets. Damn. into the edge of the field with that. That is going to be it for today. The XPDeusII produces yet another bit of silver, and Martyn also got a bit of silver. Then we got a few relics, musket balls. What did I get? 3 coins, 4 coins, going back to George II, back to 1727 through to 1760, and during the time of the Jacobites. So a glorious sunny day, shame about the wind, but I'm sure there is a lot more to come off these fields. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see, if you don't already, give me a little subscription, turn on the notifications, and hopefully I'll see you on the next dig. I'm going away into the Highlands to do some work, some tour guiding, so I'm thinking of taking my detector with me and maybe trying to do a little bit of beach detecting. So stay tuned and we'll see if that works out. See you on the next one.